Here's a video just explaining what I really like about thinkorswim, and I think it's one of the better trading platforms out there. First of all, I use thinkorswim directly from thinkorswim. You can also get thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade. I've tried it. I don't like it. It's not the same, although it has the same build number and version number. This one that I'm going to tell you about now is build 1800.39. TD Ameritrade may use the same build, but believe me, it doesn't have all the same features. I like being able to close the left-hand panel. I like being able to select a lot of charts to look at just by doing this, picking out the number of charts I want on the grid. This is my favorite grid. I refer to it often. Usually I'm in the monitor tab, but I'm not going to take you there because it's got all of my positions. Let's just open up this panel again. I really like having this quick chart. In the gadgets, there's a bunch of gadgets. One is CNBC. I hate CNBC, but if I want to watch an event that's happening, a Bernanke speech, an Obama speech, latest announcements by the Fed, then I can turn on CBC right here in my screen and I can turn it off. But I really like Quick Chart. I always keep the E-mini futures in Quick Chart with the indicators that I like to watch, and it's always available for me on the left-hand side, no matter what I'm doing in the right-hand side. One thing I really like is this gadget called Market Depth. So I can take any one of my positions or anything that I want to trade, and I can take a look at this Baidu call, for example, and let's say I want to buy that. I can see here that the mid price is 232 and the ask price is 234, but what's the range? What's available for me in all of the different markets? So I just click on this little blue button here. I click on Market Depth, and it opens up for me a window here for this particular option, the markets that it's traded on, and what the bid size, ask, and ask size is. And I can have as many as I want in here. So I've got another one there. If I want to take and add an Apple one, I just call up Apple, and let's say that it's this particular one I want to look at. Click on the blue button, say Market Depth, and I've got that market depth. So now I can quickly look at any of the options and take a look and see what people are actually bidding, and do I have to really spend $5.30 for this. So I think that having the market depth is really very helpful. I make use of a number of charts. Let's just pull up CAT here. First of all, you can double click on the name and it will usually expand to a full screen, but there's just so many here. Let's just click on this, say maximize full screen. I use a number of different styles, but I want to use as few styles as possible. So I have one that I just call clean, and all it is the candles, and then I can draw my fibs on that. I build up here under the style setting menu where I can choose my styles, the ability to click on show studies, and there's the studies that are part of that style. I can turn off the studies. I can keep the time zoom so that I don't have to keep resetting this if I'm looking at just a narrow time zoom and I want to switch to 5-minute charts. I'll get the 5-minute chart for the same, or the 1-hour chart for the same area that I was zoomed in on by keeping the time zoom. I can show expiration Fridays, or I can choose not to show expiration Fridays, and all that does is remove some of the lines on the screen for me. I can show corporate actions, so that again it just clears up what's on the screen for me by taking away things at the bottom, like earnings and splits and dividends and so on. And I can also show the volume subgraph, or I can turn off the volume subgraph, and I can show, if I'm in the 5-minute chart, I can show the extended session. I can turn it on, and I can turn the extended session off. Now, how did I get each of these things in here? That is available for you by clicking on this little wrench bar up here. Sorry, that's wrong. Clicking Setup, Application Settings. That is also wrong. Sorry, Style Settings. There is just so much in thinkorswim. So if I want to show studies in this little drop-down menu over here, then I will click right there. And that will add a hyperlink for Show Studies into the Style menu. Under Equities, if I click on this one here, I'll have a shortcut for Show Volume Subgraph in the Style. And this is where they appear. So now I can have one style, and I can hide all of my studies, and I can just selectively show the things I want to have on the chart. I really like that. Here's something else that I really like about thinkorswim. It's in the Market Watch, and it's called the calendar. I like the calendar because it shows me what's going to happen that day. So tomorrow is June the 8th. June the 9th. What's happening tomorrow? I want to see dividends, conference calls, splits, events for June the 9th. There's nothing happening tomorrow in terms of events. Let's go to next week. We're looking at week here. Anyhow, this is where all the events would show up. Don't know why they're not showing up. Maybe it's just during trading hours. Anyways, there's your, I can get rid of the dividends, conference calls, splits, and I can see just the earnings that are taking place tomorrow. We move this down here. So here's the earnings for June the 8th, June the 9th, and June the 10th. Oh, I'm sorry. And here is the events that I was going to show up down here. But you can click on this date, and then you'll have all of your events down there that are taking place. So that's very helpful. Here's you've got your heat map, and you can show your heat map for just your Dow Jones, the S&P 100, or your own personal watch list, your own personal stocks. Another thing that I really like is up here in support chat. You've got a number of chat rooms in thinkorswim, and I love to listen to Shadow Trader. So I'll click on Shadow Trader, and I will listen to what Shadow Trader has to say. And he's on from 9:15 in the morning till about 5 after 4 in the afternoon. And it's just a great commentary on what's happening in the market. If you have a funded account with thinkorswim, not just paper trading, you can see the Shadow Trader's desktop, where he's talking about stocks of the moment, or he's always got a grid of 4 market underlying indicators when he's not showing a particular stock. I really like the Analyze tab, where I can take a look at all of my positions, or I can take a look at just a simulated trade. So I could say, well, for Apple, if I wanted to do an iron condor, or let's say a butterfly trade, and I want to use a July butterfly, 315, 320, 325, I can click to buy that, and I can choose to see only the risk profile for that particular trade. And then, of course, I can add the fact that I've got 200 long stock, and now see how the butterfly changes with my stock. And this is just extremely powerful. The other thing that I really like is Active Trader. So if you go into the Trade tab and you say Active Trader, you can configure your active trader to show 1 stock, 2 stocks, or just select the grid that you want. So here's 4 stocks, but within this window where I'm showing FCX, I can have 2 charts, I can have 3 charts. I can have a 1 minute, a 15 minute, and the daily chart showing. So if I had 3 stocks, I could be looking at 4 stocks, 3 different time frames. And when I really want to just focus in on the 1 minute, I just close down the other 2 charts, just focus in on the 1 minute. So I really like Active Trader. From here you can click the Active Trader tab and you can place trades directly from here. You can say, go ahead and buy. So you can place an order directly by clicking here, or sell. You can customize your buttons up here to also create orders with one cancels the other. So you've got a limit sell and a limit buy that's automatically placed when you a limit sell stop or a limit sell. When you've placed your order, your one cancels the other will be placed at the same time. I think that's about it. The last thing I want to show you is flexible grid. So in charts, you have something called the flexible grid. As if you didn't have enough choices for how you could lay out your stocks before, go into flexible grid, click on the little wrench, and you've got 3 charts. You've got 4. You can add one below. You can take this one out and you can add one below. So you see you've got 4 charts over here and a tall chart over there. I mean, you can customize this to your heart's content just by how you choose to click these little wrenches. This will create one to the right. This will create a chart to the bottom. That's the flexible charts. Really, really helpful. Last but not least is the Help tab. Help tab is fabulous because you've got all these walkthroughs and demos that you can look at on a weekend. You've got website links. So really, this is a very powerful tool, and all the information is here to get you started. Last but not least, not last, but you can launch the Training Center, which is a full website with interactive demos. And I was going to say last but not least is this email right here. Thinkorswim has the world's best customer service. You send these dudes an email, and if you don't have an answer to your question in 5 minutes, drop me a line because you've lost your internet connection. These guys are so fast with the answer. You've never seen customer service like these guys. This is an awesome product. I'm just touching the surface of some of the things you can do with Thinkorswim. I love it. It has never let me down in the year and a half that I've been a heavy user. And if you get a chance, I hope you like it too.